Hello, welcome my valued viewers. If you're new here, I'm Pete. I'm going to do a recap of my sales last week on eBay, and then I'll show you what's going out today and then what I picked up on Sunday. So straight to it. Pictures, because I don't have them anymore. I've sold them and sent them out. A memory card from SanDisk, 2GB, £4.69. A Wi-Fi disc, BT Wi-Fi disc, £34.20 including postage. Yeah, from a 50p sale, that's pretty good. 50p purchase, £30 sale plus postage on top. A rare vintage Nikon compact flash, £5.99. 16GB it was, very small. 4 pictures these days. Some Viners mosaic pattern spoons, 6 of them, for £14.99 plus postage on top, £19.19. We'll do this side again. Amiga Cumana 3.5-inch external, not eternal. I suppose it could last forever, but never. Floppy disk drive. Oh, by the way, I'll show you what. There's not a lot going out because of I posted stuff on Saturday, so there isn't as much this weekend to show you. Panasonic S500 DVD player, USB media player. Here we go. That was £9.99. It didn't have a remote, so they'll have to buy a remote, or they maybe have got one. Last time somebody bought a Sony off me without a remote, his machine had broken, but he still had the remote, so it thought it'd be cheaper to buy one without a remote, and it was. So £14.19 including postage. A Jessup's compact flash card, 64MB, £3.69. Not a huge amount of money. The postage on these is about £1.15. eBay fees is about 70 or 80 pence, so about £1.69 to me. But don't forget, I got this in a bundle. All these memory cards that I'm selling right now, I got in a bundle of 20 odd for 50 odd, £51, and they're just recouping the money, so the real profit is on the more expensive cards later on. And the same goes for this one. 2GB compact flash Transcend, £7.49. Again, it cost me about £1 or so in fees, £1 or so in postage, so probably a fiver after all the fees and postage return. So that's off the £51 until I'm making a profit. You know, as and when I get nearly through the bundle, I'll tell you what sort of margin I made on that £50 investment. It came off eBay, sell on eBay. Right, anyway, that's another thing I'll probably do in the future. So, by the way, if you're enjoying this sort of thing and you like seeing other people's sales, give us a thumbs up. Very much like Buzz there is giving us a thumbs up. I put him there because he was climbing all over the place before earlier, so I sat him down and made him stay where he was. Right, also 50 pink purple. I wasn't sure which to call it really, so I went with both. Poker chips, £7.99. This one came from a bundle. Well, it was a case I bought for £3 and it had 1,000 chips in. Well, this one's 50 of them, so 1/20th of £3 is 15 pence, isn't it? So that cost me 15 pence and I sold them for £7.99. That included postage, so not a huge margin, but it's something in it. These were nice. Ruth Rendell Inspector Wexford audio books. There you go. 7 books on 21 CDs in 7 cases. £20 plus postage, £19.99. £4.20, £24.19 in total. Not bad. They cost me, for the, how much did 7? They were 30 odd pence each, so 7's just over £2. Can't be bad. Tommy Tippy Closer to Nature silicone teats, 2 in a pack, £6.95 delivered. These were in that big bag of junk that I bought for £2, where it's £2 fill a bag, and it was a big bag, bigger than your average shopping bag. It was like big donation type size bag, sort of near enough bin bag size, and I just filled it up with all the junk that I could, really. Lots of CDs, lots of DVDs that I kept myself, but also lots of electrical junk, and these were there, so I put them in it. So I've had all my money back on just those, but everything else in the bag was free. BT 6600 Twin digital cordless telephone answering machine. It's actually a trio, but there was only 2 of them, so fair enough. Sold as a twin. £18 plus postage, £22.40. Sorry, £22.20. I was very pleased with that. I think that probably cost me, well, it would have cost me under a £5, because I won't pay more than about £3 per handset for a set. It's just a good rule to set myself, and it means I can always make money by splitting them up and selling one part off or another. So it probably cost me under a £5, but probably it might have been a £5. Who knows? I'm happy to pay that if it's got the batteries in, you know, because then you don't have to supply any or anything like that. Right, Quail Cat, £6.95 plus postage, £11.15. Quite like that. This literally took a day to sell. Car boot, sorry, charity shop, £2.50 I think. Put it up, and I literally priced it the same as another one, exactly the same, that I sold 3 months ago, and it went straight away. I didn't use the same photograph, so I always photograph the item I'm selling, because that way I can put it in the description that it is the exact photographs of the item. There wasn't really any difference because there was no chips on either of them, but at least they know that that is the item they're getting. No chips, no scratches, no nothing. They can have a look at the face, because they are individually painted, so I've got slight variations. Another memory card. £4.19 for this one, but it was only 32 megabytes, which is teeny tiny, you know what I mean? Most cameras these days, you wouldn't be able to get one photograph out of it unless it was on the really low settings. These are designed for, like, you know, 1 or 2 megabyte cameras, or before that probably. This was nice. I bought this in the charity shop middle of the week last week, after dropping off at the post office. The charity shop's like 3 doors along, so I often pop my head in for 2 minutes, see if they've got anything new. Well, they did have Wednesday, I think it was. Literally, the night I put it up, I took photographs the night I bought it. I listed them the next day, and the night I put it up, it sold. £38.95 plus postage, which was £6 on this one because it was heavy. It was over 3 kilos. Touring Tumble. It's like little more ball bearings, but they've put marble powered, so I just left it with that. Somebody else has sold it with the same description, same write-up really. £38.95 from I'm not sure, I think I had to pay £5, which is a lot for a board game really, but it's not really a board game. It's like puzzle education, coding education. They do educational packs with like several of them, and a teacher's manual, so you know it's educational if there's a teacher's manual. Another memory card. I spent too much time listing memory cards last week and not enough time listing more valuable items, and the turnover, it shows it, because eBay is only giving me so many sales a day. Whatever people tell you about eBay not throttling you, right, it's not true. I've looked at my in fact I've done a deep dive early on this morning into my promotions and what promotions are going through, and what click-throughs I'm getting. You know, you can get this report where you like download a report off eBay. Well, I went through it line by line basically, and I found that in the last 3 to 6 months the amount of organic search is gone down and down and down, and the promoted search has gone up and up and up. I'm making more sales now out of promoted than out of organic, and it was always the other way around. Even if the whole thing was promoted, I used to promote everything at between 2 and 3%. Certainly in Q4 last year, everything was promoted, and I was getting 70% of my sales through organic search. Now it's in the 34, 35 range, despite having, you know, less promoted. So as far as I can see, they are throttling organic search in favour of more promotions. That's all I can say. I don't like it, but this is what's happening. So newly listed products, which is a lot of what I've sold this week, are getting promotions, and promoted newly listed products are getting even more promotions. You are probably 8 or 10 times as likely to sell something newly promoted and newly listed than older promotions or older stock. You know, it's just one of those things. Somebody viewed this. I'm not sure whether this was on promoted. It's not sold on promoted. You can, you know, there's a banner that says whether it's been sold on promoted. It wasn't sold on promoted, and it's £7.99 plus postage. Now I'd had this up for about £15, and I reduced it to £9.99 with offers. And then when somebody looked at it, I sent a 20% or a 25% offer on it. I can't remember what. I think it must have been 20% because it's £7.99 as opposed to £9.99. That would be 20% off, and somebody bought it. Fair enough. Sizzle platter, £7. Another one that I sent on offer on, a ridiculously cheap offer, just to get rid, because I was coming to the end of the week and I'm like, I haven't made any valuable sales. I want to send promotions out on everything, and I want to kick in some, I don't know what you would call it, some eBay sales, if you like. I want eBay sales at any price really. So I sold this at £7 plus postage. It had been on about £12.99. Sorry, I didn't say what it is. It's a sizzle platter. You put your meat on it, bringing it to the table, you know. You heat up the cast iron plate. It keeps it warm while you're serving it, I suppose. And there's a wooden platter underneath, and a little sort of fork thing for holding the cast iron that you've heated up on. I suppose you could heat it in the oven, but I would just heat it on the hob. Memory card. Yeah, I know. Panasonic 4GB memory card. Speed class 10. So not really Wii homebrew technology stuff. But it went for a decent £5.95. And again, it will have cost me 50p or £1. It was from the bundle, this one. And another one from the bundle. This one had a damaged label. It had peeled off and it was damaged, and it was in the bottom of the bag when I bought it. And I just basically got some double-sided sticky tape and stuck it back on. And so that's why it was cheap. I sold it cheap. Well, cheaper. It's a compact flash, but it was 128 megabyte. Huge amount. What size is that for a compact flash? Or at least for the ones that I was selling, I got £3.99 for it. And that is last week's sales. Nothing over £50. Nothing of, actually there was a couple of things over 30, wasn't there? Yeah, the Turing Tumble was over 30, and a £25 item, the Amiga thing that was on auction, spares a repair. And that's it. Oh no, there was a £30 thing, the BT Wi-Fi disc. So not a particularly good week at all. My total was £298.56 turnover. Not good. About £200 less than I really want it to be as a minimum. and I know why. Didn't list enough good stuff. You know, if you really want eBay to be paying attention to you, and I'm not talking about the customers on eBay, the algorithm and all that business, you have to be listing every day. The customers don't know what eBay have got. There's loads of times I put a thing in a search item, in the search, it comes up with 4 items. You look at the first one, and then across the bottom, in the bar that's for promotions, there's like 4 more that you haven't seen in the search results. They're not in the search results, but they're in the promotion results. 4 of the same item. But you've searched for that item and they didn't come up. I know this because I was doing research on something I bought. I'll show you that later on. It's a BOLO. It's really nice. The price is great. And if you stick around, you'll get to see it. Right. Thanks for sticking around. Don't forget to, if you can do me a big favour, if you're enjoying the video up to now, let the algorithm know by doing one of those down there underneath the video. It'd be great, because the algorithm, or rather other people who watch YouTube videos, would like to know that you enjoyed it, so they're more likely to watch it. Okay, so without further ado, this week's sales up to now that is going out today. First thing was these. Yeah, I know, it's not very good visually, is it? Here's a picture. This is 4 Viners dinner knife cutlery, 22cm length, stainless steel cutlery. This is from the bundle that I bought at the charity shop about 3 weeks ago. I've sold, I think this is the 5th, and there's 2 more like little bundles like this. This is a smaller set of knives, rather 4 set, just like this is 4, but they're smaller knives. A set of smaller knives, not a smaller set. And something else, I'm not sure what else it was. That was £11.99 plus £4.20, so £16.19 for that. I was pleased with that. So then there's a power supply, Logitech. This is the, well, I've got it here actually, because I didn't list this too long ago. Again, another one where I listed it and it's sold within a few days. It was for this Logitech Pure Fi Anywhere 2 iPod dock. Now, as far as I know, the iPod dock's working fine. I've only plugged it in and looked at the various functions up here and the light here. There's a light that shows whether it's charging or not, and it's charging, but it won't charge the battery that's in it. And the battery that's in it costs more than the price of the item being sold on eBay. If you sell the whole kit with the charger, with the remote control that's in the bag, this is why it's still out. I'm going to sell this with the bag and this, and it's all delivered. Costs less than the buying replacement battery. So that's basically just going to be sold for repairs and repair, possibly. As I say, the battery's no good. But this went for £8.99 plus postage, so £13.19. So the whole thing cost me, I think it was £1.50 or £2. I did knock the guy down because I said to him, you know, well, you don't say, I'm not sure you're telling the truth when you say you've recently had it working. And the thing is, right, it probably would work as it is, but the whole point about it is it's portable. You can take it anywhere. It's an anywhere too. So, power supply, £8.99. Thing cost me £2. So, I mean, I'm on a profit, not a huge one. £8.99 minus fees. What's that? £7 odd. So, £5 profit. Plus, I've got the remote control. Possibly the bag, I don't know. This I showed you a couple of weeks ago. I was holding it in its box. I've decided to, and I actually had it wrapped in its rotary box, but it's so dirty. It's so manky. Right, here we go. Yeah, this is what I was holding up in the thumbnail of one of my videos a couple of weeks ago. And I was saying, don't overlook these. It cost me 50 pence because it's look how dirty and manky that is. And all the printing's come off. Well, I decided I won't send that out. You see, look at the date. I decided I wouldn't send that out because it wasn't in all the pictures or anything. So I sent it just like that. I'm going to bubble wrap it and put it in a box like that. Should be fine. So I got £20 plus delivery. £24.20 for that. And it cost 50p. So I was quite pleased with that. Yeah. Next was this. I know, it's just another blob of bubble wrap. Here's a picture. There you are. Crap shark, or pathetic shark, or whatever you want to call it. It's called a shark with surfboard cookie jar. In fact, I've got shark with surfboard cookie jar plays Jaws theme music. Well, it doesn't. It goes you know. It's not particularly good. I did make a video to put on the listing, but it doesn't allow the format of video that was in the little camera that I was using. I didn't use this camera. I didn't want to go to the sake of having to edit it on my PC in order to make a video the right size and shape for eBay and send it, so I just took the video off. And I'd already wrapped it, and it still sold straight away anyway. So I got I had it up for £40 plus postage £6 because it's fat. It's just fat enough that once you've put it in a box, it's too fat for large. It's for small parcel, so it's a medium. So this is well, you've seen the picture. Cost me £2.50 at the charity shop on I think it was the same day I bought the tumble thing, the tumbling Turing tumble. Yeah, the game, the analog game computer that uses marbles. They're not really. Anyway, so you open the lid, it goes I took the batteries out, I photographed it nicely, and sold for, on offer, £35 plus postage of £6. So that's going out this morning. And then something that sold this morning is a Papercraft corner punch. It produces, see the silver bit there, that's what it cuts out, so that what's silver there is basically empty, and it cuts it out of the corner of the paper. I punched a bit of card to show it in the picture. It is a little bit broken, worn there, the catch that holds it down. I think it was done when they first had it and they haven't used it. It's very new looking. I got a lot of these from a lady last year, 50p each. So I sold this for £4.51, and the reason it's sold this morning is because this morning I blasted a load of offers out, about 8 or 9, and they were all 25% off. Yeah, so that was 25% off. So I think it would have been something like £6 odd, £6.99, something like that, plus postage. So £8.71 in total, including postage. But as I say, it costs 50p, so it's not too bad. And that's what's going out this morning, all 5 items, and that's it. So hope you enjoyed that. What I'm going to do is wrap and post these, and I'll be back in an hour or two. Right, I'm back. I've been to the post office, dropped my stuff off. North Cave. First things first, the Sony DS15IP alarm clock come iPod dock and radio, FM radio, but it doesn't have a remote. I haven't tested this, but I have tested the radio and it's working fine. The alarm clock comes up here. Yeah. LCD it is, backlit, nicely done. Quite steady sellers these, nothing spectacular money wise though, sort of £10 to £15 I think. I might get that plus postage, I don't know. I got a camcorder, actually I got 2 off the same guy on one stall. Looked around his stall, decided on this, and looked around a bit more, and then we negotiated. And it's a good job I did, I'll tell you. So this was, he wanted 15 for, and that he wanted 6 for. So I had a look at it. It's in the Canon bag, and it's a camcorder. Quite a nice little camcorder. It's DV, mini DV, and let me see. It does charge up, and it does play video, but the battery doesn't last very long, a few minutes at most. So I'm going to have to sell it with, you know, third-party battery doesn't last very long. I haven't charged the other battery up yet. It does have a charger. It's one of these in-line where you put the battery on the camera and then you charge it on the camera. So you plug the battery in the camera, you plug this in the camera, and the camera is the charger, which is fine. I've got nothing against that. I think it's got a spare battery, or it did have when I bought it. I might have taken it out and left it somewhere. Anyway, the little screen's working fine. It wasn't charged up, and quite honestly, anybody doing a car boot, charge all your phones up, charge all your cards, your batteries up for things like this and things like this, and then either somebody knows it's not working or they know it's working and you can command more money. If they know it's not working because the batteries, at least you're being honest, you know, or there's no battery, they've got to buy it as spares of repair. To say, oh, it's got a battery and it charges, I said to the guy, how long is it since you used it, really? And he said, oh, at least a couple of years. Now, I don't think that's true, because he had a lot of other car boot clearance stuff. You know, house clearance stuff. It might have been his father's or grandparents, or somebody's bought a load of stuff from a car boot or a junction or a auction. So, I don't think it was his anyway, it was just stock. But he said he hadn't used it in 2 years. So, there's a little bit of wear on it. The rewind button and the press play and stop pause button. The stop and the fast forward seem to be fine. And it opens and closes. Like, I don't know what you'd call it. Very clever, eh? Anyway, that's working fine. The viewfinder's working. Everything's working. But I wasn't to know that when I bought it. I'll turn it off. So he wanted 15, and I said I can't give you 15 because it might not work very well, or at all, you know. And being realistic, I can't go throwing £15 away on something that's not going to be worth 100 if it doesn't work, so it's worth repairing, because it's not worth that, you know. The number is MV700E. I did look it up. $99.99, $89.99, everything running with our accessories. Yeah, it's got all the accessories that this one has. $89.99. That's what people are after. What are they selling it for? £18 and £50. £20, oh, that's a different one. MV700, £35 on bids, £27 on bids. It's a far cry from $89.99, isn't it? I'll sell it, buy it now. I'll look for maybe 70, and that might be free post. I'm being realistic there, in the way that I had to be realistic when I bought it. I hope the guy understands if he watches the video. I also bought this SDR S7 off the same guy. We negotiated and we came to £13 for the two of them instead of £21, which is what he wanted originally. 15 and 6. It's only a small camcorder. There's no strap or anything. It's just casual. I think you'd call this a casual camcorder. It does turn on. I charged the battery up in my universal charger. It's just a standard Lumix battery, but its number is different. That's the only difference. It's a different number, but it's a standard Lumix camera battery. Anyway, it turns on. Let's turn it on. Oh, it did. It turned on. I've charged it up a bit, maybe 20-30%. I didn't want to mess about wasting time. Anyway, what was happening was, it works when you turn up the thing. You can see, when you turn it around like that, you can see it's working fine for selfies and all that. And you can see the screen. But what you can't do is turn it round and the signal goes here. So somewhere in this little twisty bit here, I would call it a hinge, but hinges go like that. It's not a hinge because it's not, because when I do that, the hinge bit doesn't stop the screen. It's the pin it twists on. There's some sort of bad connection in it. You can take these apart, they've got screws, but is it really worth it? It cost me £3. I can sell the battery, or I can sell it spares and repair. And saving grace, really, always the same. Little card. It's only 4 GB. There you go, 4 GB card. By Panasonic. This is a Panasonic camera. Quite a nice price, these. Unfortunately, it's spares and repair. Panasonic SDR-S7 camera. SDRS. They always put the bloody space in the wrong place. £40 somebody's after there for it. $69.99 new in its box. Well, not new, but you know, in its box. $49.99, $39.99 on its own like that. Working. Well, as I say, faulty. So maybe what I bought it for, maybe twice what I bought it for plus postage, who knows. I know I could sell the card. That's something, isn't it? Saving grace. Right, next was Mario and Luigi. And is this guy a toadstool? Don't know. And then Mario Fire Marshal. I think that's the guy. Princess Peach. And whatever that is. And 2 of the others as well. Brothers. They're both got big noses. I don't know what these are called. Anyway, 8 of them for £5. They wouldn't budge, and it'd make a nice little sale. You know, multiple. Or I'll just bundle them together. For £5, probably only make a few quid on that, I'm not sure really. I'll just throw them in the corner there. At least they're indestructible. Next there was some stereo headphones, that way around. They're all plastic, but they're quite comfortable actually. These are, let me just untangle the wires from the other thing. Panasonic RP-HT225s, whatever that means. Anyway, they cost me £1, so I wasn't going to knock them back. Nice and clean, very comfortable headphones actually. A BT phone. It's a premium phone, but I've had it on charge. The base works, the answer machine works. This isn't charging up, so hopefully it's just the batteries. So yeah, could be that the batteries were flat and that's why they got rid of it. People do that exact thing. I'm kidding. I've had it so many times, but this is meant to be a twin. There was only one handset, so they've lost one handset. The battery's gone flat, so they've bought a new phone. This isn't a joke. People do exactly that. The batteries go flat, so they think, oh, I'll just buy a new phone. Rather than taking the back off and checking it and buying the phone and not necessarily, and you know, just buy a new one. Okay. Next I got some media. I got an Eric Clapton tape for 10p, which yeah, I'll give it a listen. And then 6 CDs for £2. We've got ABBA Gold, Radiohead OK Computer, Radiohead The Bends, Urban Hymns from The Verve, REM, Automatic for the People, and Green REM. So, yeah, some of those will go in my collection and some might not. Who knows? Bandage scissors. These all came off the same stall, all little stuff. I just found a stall that was selling loads of stuff for little money. Bandage scissors, 20p. Quite nice. Strong. Really good for cutting things like cardboard and cloth. And same stall again. Green twine. It's that plastic. This is what I wrap my electrical cables when you've got to wrap a load together. Round in, you know, wrap it around your fist. Put a couple of twists of that in. Holds the wires together nicely. So they're not for resale, those bits, but they will come in handy doing the job what we do. Next, Robert's radio. Well, it's a radio alarm clock. It's very similar to the one I sold last week, but it's not in a box. I have cleaned it up. It was very dirty. Very dirty. Had a bit of paint on as well. Cleaned that up. I've just plugged it in, and it's one of these that it's got a radio built in, so it's also got radio setting. Now, somewhere when I tested it in the house, it was obviously a radio dead zone because it wouldn't set. But in here, in the garage, it's set straight away, really. And obviously it comes with its own huge power supply brick. See, if the radio doesn't work, you've got a power supply to sell. Anyway, that does work. So I'll probably only get £8 or £10 for that. But it cost me... where am I? Oh, I paid £3 for that. I was thinking it was £1 or £2. And then I got a Monopoly. It's already in its cellophane because I've listed it already. For £1, it was missing something. It was missing a dice. A die. One die, not two. So I just put one of the spares in. I've got dozens of spare dies. All different sizes, because I've had so many different board games that have been missing parts. You know how it is. Right, PS2 game for £1. Sopranos, Road to Respect. Really good condition, really good money. Probably £15–16. Nice. I might give it a play before I sell it though. Who knows? Panasonic. I won't show you everything in the box because it's all there and it's all working. KXTG1403. Nice. The guy insisted on having a £5. I wasn't grumbling. I wasn't going to grumble at a £5 for a trio. They've all got the batteries. They're all charging. They've got bases. Yeah, nice for a £5. You know, he said, "Oh, sorry, I can't give you any discount on that." I'm like, "Okay then, all right, I'll take it for a £5." 2 Frank Meadows Sutcliffe photos. I know I'm obsessed with these, and they, you know, when I said they're anti-reflective glass, they're always going to reflect when it's got like a big white light 2 foot away. But there you go. Quite nice. There is a little mark on the frame of this one, but they're professionally framed, and they were £3 for the 2. She started off at £2 each, I think, and she wouldn't go down to £1 each. That's all right, you know. Good size, those, nicely framed. And the last thing, is it the last thing? I missed one. SNES power supply, 50p. No, sorry, they wouldn't accept 50p. It was £1. Wouldn't go down to 50p for his SNES power supply, which is fine. I did ask, because I always ask these days. It's not about being tight, it's about maximising the return on your money. Obviously, the return on a 50p item, when you can sell it for £25. A lot of people are getting 20, but I'll do it by it now, and I'll do a really nice photographs. And other people are achieving £25 delivered, which is like, I don't know, £21 plus my normal postage, or just under £21 if you like. That's everything from Hull. Oh no, one more, a battery. It's just a third-party battery, huge battery. Look at the size of that. For a camcorder. Not sure which one. I said I'd take the chance of taking it and trying to find out. For £1, might as well. It's a big chunky battery, this. 1800 milliamp hours. Well, it must be NARCAD or NIMH, because something that's 1800 milliamp hour batteries would be a quarter of that size these days. It's okay. That's alright. For £1, you can't really go wrong. Right, into Hull I drove. And the first thing I saw on the first stall I stopped at after I parked was this. There you go. £5. I said to the woman, is that a real price? £5. And she says, oh yeah. So I said, I'll have it. I didn't even look inside. And I'd open it, and I can see the wires are all there. And then I saw there was a black nunchuck, and then there's the back end of a black controller. So yeah, why not? But then I opened it at home, and the back end of the black controller is the rubber case for the controller. The controller is missing. Well, you know, £5 in a box, and it's got all the power supply, AV cable, and sensor bar. They're there. It's got a nunchuck. It's got all the manuals and stuff. It doesn't have a sports disc, and it doesn't have a controller. But it's a £5, so you know, not a problem. I'm happy with that. Let's just move this Monopoly. Black & Decker PD 1820L. I'll show you it. I've just put it on charge because I don't know whether it works. It's one of those handheld. It doesn't seem to be turning on, but it's only been on charge 5 minutes. And the charger, it's not in exactly the most stable position. It's stuck on top of something else. If it doesn't charge, it's not a big deal. It cost £2. Yeah, I looked at it and he said to me, oh, would you do 4? And I'm like, no. I said, would you do 2? And he's like, okay. I mean, if the battery's no good, or if it needs a new motor, it's just not worth it. But for the plastics alone, and the charging cradle, and the power supply, assuming they work, maybe that's the problem with it. That could be the problem. It won't be the motor and the power supply, it'll be one or the other if you don't charge up. Yeah, I put it back on its cradle and we'll see whether it charges. A 4-way switch, might have been the same stall. 4-way switch for your PS2, your VCR, your Xbox original, and something with a video S, so it could be your did I say VCR? VCRs have video S, didn't they? And then it switches between that and the output to your TV. It's okay, nothing special. That was £1. Yeah, more in the way of equipment so that I can like put an old CRTV for on my controllers and stuff, my game machines. I might do that. I might not. I've got it in case I do. I know it's probably junk that's going to sit in a box somewhere until I sell it again. Set of 4 buzz controllers wired. There you go. And it's USB. So that's for the PS2. I do have some buzz games, so I might put that with one of them. TV wall mount arm. There you go. Got a few of these, as you know. But I'm going to use this one because it angles down. A lot of them don't angle down like that. I'll be using this for the LED lighting I've got from the back bedroom. Because you can angle it like that and it'll come out from the wall with the LED on at a 45-degree angle probably. That's 45 degrees there. And then when you finish with it, you can put it against the wall, straighten it up with the LED light in there. Use it for lighting in the room or a video light when I'm, say, videoing something. Nice. £1. So, yeah. Very nice for the money. Sanyo VMD 90p. Next. And there you are. VMD 90p with a manual. And it's foam, but not in the box. It's got power supply, AV cable there. It's got, oh no, that's the battery and the AV cable. That's the power supply, and obviously the battery fits on there. And there's the camcorder. It is missing the foam cover for the microphone, and I haven't tested it yet. It's also got a very plasticky lens cover that just sits at the side. It's quite light. It hasn't got a tape in. I would need to charge it up before I can open it, but the tape goes in there. It's I think it's a VHS-C. No, it's 8mm. There's a secondary battery, or rather, that's the original battery, I think. It says Sanyo on. The other one's a Uniross massive chunk. I think so that it'll last half an hour, because those small ones don't last very long at all on these old things. So that fits in like that on the back. It says 6 volt 2400 milliamp hours. So, and it's got a remote, which I have tested. Haven't tested this, but it was easy to test the remote. Let's just take that battery out. It won't fit in the box without the battery out. So, I haven't tested it yet, but I got it for, oh, where are we? I got that one for £5. Guys were adamant, 2 guys I've bought this one before, they were adamant they weren't going to sell me it for anything less than £8, so I walked off. Anyway, I came back in 5 minutes and I said, look, would you take 5? Because it's not going to work, I can guarantee it. I said, there's a microphone bit missing, there's wires bits and missing, but I'll sell it for buy it at spares and repairs price. And so they accepted that, because they know that I'm a decent customer. I don't take things back, but I don't want it to pay for it at retail, you know. I'm not sure what it's worth. If it works, it's still a pretty old style camcorder that's not really in demand. But for somebody who's already got one, they might want the remote, they might want the power supply, they might want a spare battery if that charges up. We'll see. Talking about spares and repairs, I did go to another stall and bought some spares and repairs there. I'll just move this pile of Mario figures. Oh, something else. That this I think came in from North Cave actually, but I forgot to mention it. 50 pence. It's a Pyrex triangular dish. Let me just take these bits of tape off. There you go. Now there's another one. It's very tight, that one. Ah, perfect. I didn't want to damage the glass grinding it together. There you are. It's not damaged. And it's meant to go that way up to show the vegetables or whatever off. Now these are triangular, so you can put a few of them in the oven at the same time. I'm not sure whether they might have had a base that they all sit in, I'm not sure. Anyway, it's alright. The design is sunflower. There you go. And they vary in price. You know, there is a bit of grinding off that one. Maybe that's why it was taped up. There's a slip. Yeah. Just there. That's a pain. It was taped over that. Nah. I'm annoyed now that I didn't take the tape off and have a good look at it. It cost 50p. I'm not going to grumble too much. Okay. Yeah, next was some more spares and repair. Camcorder. 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 So what we've got? We've got a Sony, and it's got a huge screen. Look at the size of that screen. This is a Sony DV. So these are £2.50 each for the 4 of them. This one was quite a nice one. Big screen. Sony Mini DV. Handycam for networking. It says networking. Yeah, and it's a 3.1 inch. Is it 3.5 inch? Massive screen. And so it's got networking capabilities. There you are. You can see that? All sorts of in and outs. And you can have a headphone and an audio mic, AV in and out, a microphone, so you can use a boom microphone on it. It's got a mount there for the microphone. That was £2.50. This was £2.50. This is a Sony Handycam 4 megapixels, and it's the type with a mini disc, mini DVD, 8cm disc, and preferably rewritables. Now I can't open this because it's not charged up. I can't charge it up because there's no battery. I might be able to use one of the batteries from one of the others. I don't know. But I do know it's called a DVD 505E. Quite a popular little camera. Very scratched up, that. Very scratched up. Next one is a hard disk drive Sony cam. It's much smaller screen. Twistable as normal. No memory card. No battery. You know, it's got wide angle and all that. This is sticking. You can close it, you can open it, but you've got to use your finger to do the lens cover. So that doesn't bode well, and they're all dusty as well. And this is a bit scratched, but nowhere near as bad as the second one. And then the fourth one is a JVC Mini DV. Much smaller screen again. Big battery. If I can get the battery out. Then genuine JVC. Is it a 408? Yes, it is. It's 408U. This is your standard JVC camcorder battery, and fits on nicely. Now, if that charges up, whether the camera works or not, I've got my money back on all 4 of them. But this one's very dirty, very dusty. I've got a big suspicion this won't work at all. Like I say though, I'll try charging the batteries. So those 4 were a tenner. I'm sure I've got my money back on one of the accomplishments, and I'll give them all a good clean and try to sell them as spares repairs. Next stall, or it might have been one round the back of it, not like next to Long. Next stall I bought from. Robin tester. If you see one of these, I won't say it's a BOLO, but they're valuable and people don't really value them. A lot of people call them megas, but they're not megas. Megas is a particular brand, but it's the same type of thing. These are continuity and not continuity, insulation, that's the word, it says it there, insulation and continuity tester. So it's continuity and not continuity, if you see what I mean. Anyway, that's what they do. I'll have to put new batteries in the back to give it a test. A couple of them have rusted. They are the old zinc carbon acid batteries, and they've acided through their own metal and rusted to themselves. It does have all the wires. There you go. Probes. And behind the actual thing there is the manual, and obviously there's a case. It doesn't have a box. It has a sort of over the shoulder case for carrying it around, putting it in the back of your van when you're working. Yeah, quite nice. That cost me £4. The guy wouldn't give me it for any less. He said, "You know what it is, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know what it is." "You know, it's well worth it then." I'm like, okay. So, fair enough. Even as spares and repairs, £4 isn't bad. Probably get £10 to £15 spares and repairs. You get like £40 with it working. So clean out the batteries, test them out. There is somebody trying to get £85 for one, but that's a bit ridiculous. I think it's the only one on currently in the UK that's running. Next, 2 Duracells. I needed these for other projects. One's a remote control for a camera, and one's something else. 50p each. And as far as I know, they've got no sell by date or use by date on these. They're very small. Oh, here we are, 2026. So that's okay. BT Home Hub. There you go. Now, you know, I got one with a power supply last week and sold it, no, the week before, and sold it during the week. Well, this is the same exactly. It's got 1 foot bust off. But this is a home hub, not the Wi-Fi extender where you have to pay extra to buy it from BT or whatever. This is what they give everybody who signs up to the system. So everyone's got one of these. Or the next one, the better one that's come out since. This is a 5, you know. So like I said, they're going for like £8 or £9 or £10 or £12 with both feet. And the foot thing, it's broken off inside, so it would have me stripping it down and all that. It's not worth it. But it did come with a power supply, so I've listed the power supply. That cost £2, and hopefully I'll get like, I don't know, £9 or £10 for the power supply. Don't know where this came from, but I haven't written it down. Kodak, must have written it down. I have, yeah. Kodak Easy Share. I paid a bit much for this, £2. Normally I would only pay like £1 for a Kodak. It does have a memory card in it, but it's only 2GB. And it's got a battery in it. Genuine Kodak, which I charged up, and this is working nicely, surprisingly. So yeah, I'll sell this as it is. if I can turn it off again. I'm not sure what I'll get for it, but it only cost £2, and I can sell the card for a £5. Next, Panasonic. This is off the guy who I normally buy my electrical gear from, or at least I buy electrical gear from everyone, you know that. But what I mean is I go to him every week and I try to buy something off him to keep him sweet, and he's given me some really good deals in the past, but lately his deals haven't been as good as all that. Well, changed his tune this week actually. I did get some decent stuff. So this is a Panasonic DMP BD45EBK Blu-ray player. It's not new in the box or anything, but it's in the box, which is nice. In foam. It's a bit ratty. I don't know whether it is rats or something's been biting the plastic and then realising it's plastic. But yeah, a bit dusty, but quite nice looking, you know. Long, thin, with the remote, HDMI cable, which is fine, and a figure 8 cable. And that was, well, it was negotiated about. Originally he wanted 16, which is far too much. I'll go and get the other thing, and then I'll cut out the space in between. There's 10 minutes left on the timer, so it'll only take me 8 minutes to go and get it. No, I'll go and get it now, because I didn't have room for it.
A few moments later.
Oh, here we go. Sony DHC MD 333. Mini disc built in, CD to mini disc synchro recording, mini disc editing. I'm reading it off the box here. RDS, that's like for the stereo sound, for the radio. Disc memo and station name, so you can program it with the names. Well, you could if you had a remote. Balanced draft tweeter, which means the speakers have got a tweeter and a driver. That's all that means, really. Anyway, it's in the box. It doesn't have the foam with it. I'm going to put it on the floor and then pull it out of it. Yeah, that'll do. Pile it on top of the other rest of the pile. Yeah. So these speakers are real nice, but they don't have the grills. They're only like a cloth grill that go over the front. But they're nice. They're not all scratched up, as you can see. Speakers are working out. They sound good, is what I meant. They're not dull. I haven't had it running yet. So we've got left speaker, right speaker. Let's just put that one out of the way. Yeah, this one's the same. Not all scratched up, very dusty. Which is, you know, par for the course when you're buying stuff from Hull, unfortunately. It's a very dusty car boot. There's no greenery at Hull car boot. It's all dust and grit and big cobbles of stones. Yeah, what can you say? There is some grass that grows around the edges where there's no car boot. And then there's the main unit. There you go. Mini disc, CD. There is a radio tuner, obviously. There is a tape unit you can buy to go on top, but it doesn't come with this system. It's just this. And yeah, nice. And it's mini disc, but it's also got an what do they call it? Audio bus for putting it into your PC and stuff. Not PC, other stereo. It's got antenna space for an FM aerial and an AM, FM. Yeah, AM and FM. There you go. There's no optical out on this, which is a bit of a pain. The new ones all have optical. New Air ones all have optical out. But if it's working with the CD sync, CD and mini disc sync, I'll probably look in the box, bubble wrap it all up. It's a pity there's no grill work, so I might only get 60 quid for it, I don't know. Anyway, it was 25 for that and 12 for this. No, sorry, 13 for the Blu-ray. I have converted this with my little remote to being region free for DVD, so I'll be looking for £50 on that. And then, like I say, probably 60 or so for that. So the two cost me £28, and I could be looking at £110, £120, which would be really nice. They weren't the best thing though. I have kept the best for last. And it was actually the last thing I bought. After I put those back in the car, I went for a wander around without a bag because I was absolutely chocker. The boot was chocker with this lot. The bags were all used up. So I wanted to wander around without a bag, which is not like me at all. I've normally got like a bag in a bag. So I did find one other thing, and it is a BOLO, this one. If you've stayed to the end, here's the real meaty, lovely goodness. Have you ever seen one of these? Slender Tone face. I saw this about a month back. I got, no, it's not a month back, it was 2 months back when I did the video of whole car boot, just handheld with my camera on my phone. And on one of the stalls, I was actually videoing it when I found the like crossword solver, the Oxford crossword solver from Seiko, and that sold in a day or two, and it was great. That cost me at the time, I think it was £2, sold for 35. This same stall, looking along, I always go back looking, you know, second time round. I didn't do the whole car boot a second time round because it was getting on, and I was knackered, quite honestly. It was like 11:15. Anyway, I saw this, and if you haven't seen one before, I'll show you what it's like. It's definitely be on the lookout for these. I got one of these about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and it cost me £5. That's it. And it was great, and it had 3 packs. One was open, but 2 packs of these facial gel pads that go with the Slender Tone. This is basically, it shows men, but most men's faces, mine included, are too big for these machinery, because it is a machine. There you go, there's a wire there, and you put it around the back of your head and wind this out, and it grips your side of your face. I won't do it because it'll probably break it. I'm too wide. I'm a fat bastard. Can I say that? But it's true, isn't it? I mean, let's face it. Anyway, it's got a wire. There you go. And it plugs into this little control box that charges up from an adapter, which plugs in with the little 3 pins that you plug into the adapter. Anyway, if you haven't seen one before, go and look it up. If you know what you know, then you know these are expensive. And they've been going up in price since I sold one 3 years ago for £145 with one set of gel pads. And I went on to sell the other gel pads as well and made another 30 quid on top. Well, now one set of gel pads is about £45. Just that. 12 gel pads. The thing cost me £3. And I thought to myself, I'll charge it up, check that the electricals are working, and then sell it. They're going for between £140 and £200. Yeah. Anyway, I charged it up and it wouldn't charge. And I'm like, oh God. Anyway, I looked all sorts of other things up, and it turns out the batteries don't last forever because they're nickel metal hydride batteries. Nickel metal hydrides. Bane of my life. It's the same with all these old cameras, the same with old drills, same with, they just don't last forever. No matter what you do, use them, not use them, the batteries wear out. Sitting on a corner and sitting not being charged up, they're unlikely to work again after a few years. Sitting charged up, they're unlikely to work again after a few years. Used more than 500 times, they're likely to not have any charge left in them. They won't charge up no matter what you do. So I went looking for a spare. I took it out, the battery. There's one place to buy them, Amazon, and there's one person that sells them. Yeah, and they're not originals. It turns out they're a proprietary size that have been made up specially for this, and they're the only ones that have them. So you know what I'm going to say, instead of being £3.50, £4.75, they're £18.90. This is why people are selling these spares and repaired. Anyway, I've ordered one. £18.90. Hopefully it'll work. If it doesn't, I'm sending the battery back. Anyway, if it works, and it's got the manual and it's got the instructions and it's all really clean and tidy as though it's not being used. It's got the original face things. It's obviously been used, or the battery would be completely and utterly flat. The wires have been unpacked, so it's been used, but it's got a completely new set of face things that come with it. Normally one set comes with it. It's really clean, so I'll be looking for £150 plus once the battery arrives and it's installed and it charges. If it charges, yeah, £150. If it doesn't, the battery gets sent back, because I've got no use for it. It's the wrong battery, and I'll just send it back. Amazon will just have to accept it. It was free post, so it's free return. That's the lot. Hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, if you see one of these, just buy it. Whether the battery works or not, it's well worth the money. From £3 into over 150 with just a matter of putting it on eBay for that money, and it will go like nobody's business. Yeah, pleased with that. Good turnover. I'm not sure, I have not done the maths, what any of these are going to be worth. I mean, the spares and repair cameras, who knows. The video cameras that are working, this Canon, I can give a good estimate on that. The slender tone face, the Blu-ray and the hi-fi, good estimates on them. So there's probably £250 there on the hi-fi, the Panasonic Blu-ray and the slender tone face. But my costs are going to be higher this week, because I might have to buy batteries for these cameras, these camcorders, if they work. I might have to buy a battery for that, this. I'm not sure. The battery's working, but the screen's not. I think I would probably just sell it spares and repair. There's a a couple of things that I know I can work out the values for. So I'll put estimates up and I'll do them up here. You know, the usual top line, eBay fees, P&P, what's the other stuff? Costs, purchase price and profit margin. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Please hit one of those things down below. It doesn't matter which ones, but the subscribe if you're not subscribed would be great. And then there's some more videos to watch here.